I saw the robots of my generation destroyed by bad programming, beeping hysterical, wiring themselves in the garage at dawn, looking for an AC adapter, the absolute heart of the lithium-ion battery, guaranteed to run for 1,000 years. Dig it, brothers and sisters. Dear Tim and Moby, what can you tell me about poetry? From Gabriella. Chances are you're already pretty familiar with some forms of poetry. From the nursery rhymes you learned as a kid to the song lyrics you listen to now, your head is probably filled with poetry. Poetry is any writing that uses words for their sound and rhythm as well as their meaning. Ordinary writing, like you'd find in a textbook, newspaper article, or novel, is called prose. It expresses ideas in simple, direct language. Poetry, on the other hand, usually emphasizes artistic elements like rhythm, rhyme, and repetition. You can measure a poem's rhythm with something called meter. Meter takes into account how many syllables are in each line, what the pattern of stressed and unstressed syllables is, stuff like that. For example, the English poet Alexander Pope wrote in iambic pentameter. That's a popular type of meter with 10 syllables per line, and with every unstressed syllable followed by a stressed syllable. The rhythm of a poem in iambic pentameter goes ba-bump, 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 ba-bump. Relentless walls whose darksome round contains repentant sighs and voluntary pains, ye rugged rocks which holy knees have worn, ye grots and caverns shagged with horrid thorn. That's Alexander Pope. You'll notice that repetition comes into play here. You can see the first two lines start with a 3-syllable word beginning with the letter R, and the use of ye repeats at the start of the second two lines. Right, I was just getting to rhyme. Rhyme is the repetition of similar sounds, usually at the end of lines of poetry. Far and few, are the lands where the Jumblies live. Their heads are green, their hands are blue, and they went to sea in a sieve. Not all poems rhyme, but ones that do usually have what's called a rhyme scheme or pattern. Let's take a look at that Pope poem again. Relentless walls whose darksome round contains repentant sighs and voluntary pains, ye rugged rocks which holy knees have worn, ye grots and caverns shagged with horrid thorn. You can see the pattern. It's divided up into pairs of rhyming lines, or couplets. Mark each different rhyme with a letter, and you have the rhyme scheme. Not all poems have rhyme or meter, though. A lot of modern poets write in free verse, which has no set meter or rhyme scheme. The lines are simply broken up the way the poet sees fit. You are humped higher and higher, black as stone. You sit with your head like a carving in space, and the little green cat is a bug in the grass. That's a good question. People write poetry because it can express certain feelings and ideas better than prose. Poets often used their craft to make you think about an experience in a new and interesting way. It's sort of like painting a picture with language. Check out this piece by Emily Dickinson. It sifts from leaden sieves, it powders all the wood, it fills with alabaster wool the wrinkles of the road. Can you tell what she's talking about here? Right, snow. To make us see and feel the snowfall, Dickinson uses the poetic tool of metaphor. That's when you compare one thing to something else. In this poem, snow's not just frozen water, it's alabaster wool that sifts from leaden sieves. Sorta does make you shiver reading this. Poems can often seem difficult to understand when you first look at them. Often it's because poets like toying with the different meanings of words and phrases. So when you read a poem, make sure you read it thoroughly and carefully. And if possible, you should read it aloud to get a better feel for the sound and rhythm of the words. By paying close attention, you'll have a better chance of understanding what the poet is trying to say. You've got a poem? I think you misspelled thermonuclear here.